Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, all beings, all life. This is mostly just a broadcast to help sort of anchor light in these tremendous amount of energies that are going on, and of course, the even more fast paced energies to come. What I mean by that is the following. So, we've got a large understanding, per se, of the type of, at least not only energy shifts with the types of planetary movements that are going on right now, celestial body movements that are going on right now. We, without a doubt, have definitely recognized the synchronicity that goes on. And what do I mean by we? I mean the consciousness. When I say we, I notice I say that word a lot without an actual clarification of what that plurality means. But usually when I speak of we, usually speak, bear with me, and this is just, for the sake of higher consciousness in general. I speak in the term of consciousness because I not only see myself as consciousness, which of course is as an enlightened state of existence. Not that saying that not speaking from a state of mind of consciousness is not enlightened. However, bear with me. Speaking from the point of view when I say that pronoun we, that mean consciousness itself and that raising of consciousness. So when I say we, I'm speaking not only of the galaxy, but of course multiple and the conundrum and of course the multiple assets. So or multiple beings involved in the aspect of what we're going. So consciousness is going through a major drastic shift in a positive way through these energies which are very high, which is normal because we got there's lots of energies, things that are happening that can just be tapped into consciousness because that's just what consciousness is. One of the things of attributes that consciousness has, it's that extrasensory perception. You'll notice that there's a lot of insect activity. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of insect activity. There's a lot of growth that is being developed, or not only growth, but a literal energy of preparation that's being occurred and being present in the and that's expected, being present in the plant kingdom, and so that's very vibrant and very noticeable. What does this add up to, or what does this equate, and how does this have anything to do with kind of the things we're going through? Once again, there's the plants, they're sort of very experienced, per se, masters of change or of, surviving harsh environments. So once again, it's very beautiful and very key to balance with that. And that's, of course, a very good quality that we're able to inherit and bond with and, of course, unite with. And of course, that synchronicity is very strong and happening. One other thing, just going straight up all the way to celestial bodies terms now, is our relationship with the sun, with the rest of the planets, and kind of the future relationship. We see a lot of, and this is just not just some, Well, I should present this with facts. So I'm gonna first speak about this. Energy in terms of intuition and instinct first, because for some reason that's usually right when I speak of my innate and instinct first before I go research the facts. There's definitely shifts that have to do a lot with the changing of how we feel, express, and live. Meaning, our sense of time, our energetic bodies are going through drastic changes. Lots of energy, lots of not energy. Or, strongly energetic and mostly strongly energetic, don't get me wrong. However, there is, normal C in a sort of, draining of energy. Of course, changing in the different perspective of different thought forms. And of course, the interesting balancing act of that and a kind of open-minded vision of that peaceful, coalescent evanescent building of unity in the understanding of what it means to be covalent, coalescent in the sort of balance that is unique to a planetary system. So we understand that we also go through, well, it's not like, we also go through phases, and that determines what things definitely are. The perception of the types of energies that, it's very, very, believe it or not, it's not narrow-minded to view, and this is a positive quotation, or a positive notion that I'm making. It's not a negative perception to, or, a sort of condensed perception to view this time period 21 to, the 21st of August to, the 22nd of September. But let's also look at, even though it's a very short amount of time, let's look at 15. I like the word 15 years and 15,000 years, which is a multiple. 15,000 years. Every 15,000 years, or just multiples of 15,000 years, which add up to another number, which could be 450,000. It's a interesting concept. How in the world do all these things connect together? It literally just sounds like I'm shouting out a bunch of different facts. So bear with me with this understanding of sort of anchoring of light, higher energies, and higher frequencies. Because it's a lot of information. It's a lot of timeline jumping. A whole lot of timeline jumping. Believe it or not, that is an occurrence with what is being done with multi-planetary and multi-galactic wisdom being combined with this sort of not only vision but anchoring in the present. So what does that mean? The energies of this 22 days, these equinox, September 21st, September 22nd, going into this sort of time change, balancing of the total amount of energy that's being, blasted off the earth. It's very interesting because it synchronizes with the time of the energy being pushed towards our, the flares being pushed towards our planet. And notice how the flares, as we rotate, that the solar flares are also hitting Jupiter, but how this may be wrong, but I'm totally instinctual with this, and I'm pretty sure I might be right. I'm pretty sure I am right. But the solar flares are hitting at the same time, if that makes sense. So the solar flares are hitting both planets at the precise time. However, the storms that occur on either one are different layers of storms, as well as a different amount of balancing, which is important for the equinox. I'm condensing a lot of information in a short amount of time, but that, I would say, that's a very strong interpretation of my visions. It's okay. So here's the thing. I've had incredible, vision. It was actually, I was able to kind of anchor my own. Well, let's put it this way. When we see, here's a very, very good explanation of this beauty. Creation in its super animate form, meaning jumping through timelines, existing as multiple creations and then coming into play. That's like happening all simultaneously. So it was spectacular to see like a whole, and this is an amazing way to understand, because it was amazing to see everything kind of happening at once, and that's kind of what you kind of envision, because you see everything happening at once. You see it all, and then you see the part that you play in it, and then you see the parts that are played in it, and then you see it all. So it's an elevated, enlightened understanding. Not saying that more elevated above the other, but it's kind of just a sort of responsibility. Not to say once again that there's a lack of responsibility because there isn't a vision being had or isn't this type of insight that's being made, but quite more of this is a sort of experience that isn't applicable to this world. There's nothing wrong with it not being applicable to this world. It is, like I said, we can train on other planets, and then, all that training comes back here. It's amazing how I said those words, and then, at the same time, I truly understand how perfect that timing is to prepare us for what we're able to encounter, what we're going to encounter, what is occurring in the now. So, lots of grand growth, evanescent understanding and anchoring and absorbing and manifesting and changing and shifting into that light body. Meaning, increasing light quotient. And then we're able to, advance as more. That's have just enlightened ways of advancement, which is going to help kind of ground all that higher vibration back into Gaia, as well as illuminate our crown chakra and then be centered in higher vibrations. This is your host for this episode of Completely New, a sort of very spiritual trainer, still doing many different types of unique buildings, characteristics, and architectural intuitions. And of course, a huge mountain of plethora of skills, which of course I'm still not only have access to, have developed, and have under my belt, but of course, within my being, within my chakra, within my being, essence. This is your host, Christian Walker, to spawn in this late afternoon edition of Completely New. Love you all.